The Chicago White Sox won a series, their first since May 22nd. The Sox beat the Rays 2 out of 3 games this past weekend. Lots of production from Jake Burger and Danny Mendick, two guys you probably didn't expect to be spark plugs for the Sox in June, but hey, whatever works. Can the Sox start getting into a rhythm, maybe find some consistency? Hopefully these past 2 games are a sign of some things to come for the good guys that wear black.
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Morawski, a lifelong, diehard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. I really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Are the 2022 White Sox a version of the 1983 Sox? Going to talk about that. Also, Tim Anderson's still on the shelf. Danny Mendick is making the most of his time. But first, the White Sox limped down to Tampa, but they took care of business this past weekend. Sunday, the Sox finished off the series beating the Rays 6-5. Sox took 2 of 3 from Tampa. State of the Sox right now, they are 25-27, still chasing the Twins and Cleveland. Sunday was the 52nd game of the season, and we had the 52nd different lineup. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing in certain spots. Game 1 was, of course, on Friday against Tampa, and it was bad. It was a start to the series was very ugly for our White Sox as they lost 6-3. Davis Martin got the start after Vince Velasquez was a last-second scratch because he pulled a groin while shagging fly balls during batting practice. Martin had a rough first inning on Friday, gave up 4 runs, but settled down. Sox had 11 hits, but only 3 runs to show for it. Ended up losing that game. Saturday, much more exciting. Had a comeback win. And then you're wondering, okay, what did the White Sox, what did front office, what did management, what did La Russa and team learn from that win on Saturday? How could they potentially use that moving forward? And it was great to see Mendick, who had 2 hits on Saturday, leading off. Burger in the lineup after that big pinch hit home run we'll talk more about. You just want to start seeing some consistency. You know, I know I'm not the only one talking about it, but I have talked quite a bit on this podcast about getting consistent lineups going. Were lessons learned on Saturday? It seemed like they were a little bit on Sunday, even though it was the 52nd different lineup. It was nice to see Mendick and Vaughn 1-2 at the top there. Sometimes, players just force their way through and, they're given opportunities, but they got to take advantage of those opportunities. And Burger is a guy that is such a feel-good story. He has had some issues over the last few years. You were wondering if you were ever going to see Burger play at the big league level after setback after setback. Is he going to get an opportunity? Moncada is the guy at third. Where does he fit in? And with Moncada struggling, and we don't know what kind of health issues Moncada's going through, but his numbers are horrible. Burger has been getting some playing time, and he's been taking advantage of it. He can play defense, Burger. He's got a strong arm, very quick over at third. But it was his offense this past weekend that we're going to be talking about. And the Sox didn't waste any opportunities on Sunday. First inning, wow, we have been waiting for this as a fandom. Where has this been? First time scoring multiple runs in the first and second inning this season. Coming into the game, the Sox were 3 for 35 with the bases loaded. That changed. Mendick, Vaughn, Burger all getting in on the action in the first inning. Sox were up 4-0. Burger was at it again in the second inning with another double. It was 6-0 in the second. And the Sox chased Yarborough, who for Tampa, he only went 1 2/3 of an inning through 68 pitches, couldn't even get out of the second. I mean, when was the last time that happened where the Sox were the punishers? They were the guys chasing a pitcher. Usually it's been happening to us. Sox had 3 extra base hits and 2 walks through the first 2 innings. You really felt like this was going to be one of those blowouts. It had all the makings. Sox definitely fizzled a little bit, though. Talk about the fourth here. Robert came up and ripped a single almost through the Tampa shortstop. He and his exit velocity have been well documented. Robert was 2 for 3 at this point in the fourth inning. Abreu follows up with a single. It's 6-0, and it was just nice to see at this point the Sox, keeping the pedal to the metal. However, they did not score that inning. Burger was up with 2 on, nobody out. He hit into a double play, got Robert to third, and then Grandal popped out for a moment there in the fourth. It was nice to see that. There were a lot of wasted opportunities. It started off with a bang, 6-0 after the second. You're like, what team am I watching here on a Sunday, on a getaway day? Could have had more, should have had more. Here's the final offensive line for our White Sox. They had 6 runs on Sunday, 16 hits, only struck out 3 times. They had 2 walks. They were 4 for 14 with runners in scoring position, 4 extra base hits. Burger in the series, 3 for 8, 4 RBIs, a home run, and 2 doubles. His last 7 games, 8 for 26, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. His slash line, 308, 357, 654. It is just great to see that guy get it going, and you got to now find ways to play him. You got to, and that might mean, Garcia, we might not see you for a while. That might mean, Harrison, we might not see you for a while. Maybe Sheets is not going to be the DH. Maybe it's going to be Burger if he's not in the field. Burger has got to be playing. He's your hot hand, along with Vaughn, who was 3 for 5 on Sunday. Mendick had a great series, came up with some big hits, especially on Saturday. He was 1 for 5 on Sunday, though. But Mendick throwing some leather, too, some good defense. The Sox did not score after the second inning on Sunday, and that's a little troublesome. They had an opportunity to put their, foot down on Tampa's throat, and it just, it didn't go their way. Again, they were building off of Saturday, of what went on Saturday. And offensively, not a ton was happening on that game 2 of the series on Saturday. They did not score, the Sox, until the 8th inning. It was Adam Engel, Danny Mendick, who was 3 for 10 in the series, and then Burger with a pinch hit bomb in the 8th. That's really how it went to get the Sox back on top. Cease, you look at his line and you're like, oh, only gave up 1 hit and 2 runs, but he went 4 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, 2 runs, 7 walks, though, and 5 strikeouts. It could have gone worse. He was lucky. That's just not a way you want to live over and over, is giving up 7 walks. Again, it didn't bite him as bad as it could have on Saturday, but it's not the consistent way. It's not, you do not want to play with fire like that over and over. Cease has got an ERA of 3.39. Graveman came in for the bottom half late in the game on Saturday in the eighth. It didn't go as well as planned. Runners on the corner with one out, but he got a big strikeout, then an outstanding play from Danny Mendick to get out of the inning. Huge save by Hendriks on Saturday. You got a White Sox winner. It felt like forever. And it was nice to see Tony La Russa and crew, whoever is talking into Tony's ear, tell him, hey, I think there's some things on Saturday that we should learn from. We should repeat on Sunday. And it was nice to see that now. You got a 2-game winning streak. Nice to take 2 or 3 from Tampa and come in on this off day. So Giolito was throwing on Sunday. He was on cruise control until he wasn't. Sunday was a great example of hindsight is maybe 2020. I'm going to tell you why Graveman coming in for relief was a big deal for a second day in a row. More on that in a moment. I want to tell you about Athletic Greens. I've been taking AG1, their flagship product, for over 3 weeks now and have noticed improvement in my overall metabolism, better sleep, and I just feel better. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, is recommended by professional athletes, and trusted by leading health experts. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that's athleticgreens/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Hey, we have an important favor to ask of you. We've put together a survey so we can learn more about listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcasts even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On podcasts. Go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes a survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To take our audience survey, go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey. Really appreciate your help. So we're going to talk a little pitching and defense from Sunday's game, especially. Sox, calling on Giolito. Let's see if we can get 2 in a row here. Cease wasn't magnificent, but he was serviceable. And Giolito, I still consider him the ace, and he had it going. He had it going early on for a while, actually. He had a quick inning in the first, had only 33 pitches after 2 innings. Fourth inning, there was some traffic on the base paths from Tampa, runners at first and second. Gio was battling, and he got out of it with 0 damage. 59 pitches after 4 innings. Things were moving right along until really the wheels came off in the 6th. And there was some sloppy, some very unfortunate, just downright bad and horrible defense. Grandal at first on Sunday, he just missed handling. He basically just didn't catch a ball that was thrown to him, and it kept the inning alive. And there was a rough attempt by Vaughn in right field. Some big hits by the Rays. They capitalized. They scored 4 runs in that inning, made it 6-5. So Giolito was up in the pitches, before that inning. The Sox have an off day here on Monday, and you're wondering, maybe you can unload the bullpen. Maybe Giolito doesn't need to come out for the 6th, but he was on cruise control. And how many times have you seen the starter leave a game and then the opposition jumps all over the bullpen? It's a tough call. I think if maybe La Russa had to do it over again, maybe he would have, let Giolito be done after 5 innings and then went to the bullpen, especially with that day off on Monday. But the bullpen got the job done on Sunday. Giolito's final line was 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. 2 walks, only 3 strikeouts, which was interesting. The changeup really wasn't doing what he wanted it to do. And he gave up those 2 home runs with, at least a home run or 2 home runs seems to be the calling card for Giolito. Giolito's ERA is 3.54. He threw 109 pitches on Sunday. So talking about that bullpen, Bummer came in. He hasn't been lights out as of late. There's been some really bizarre, awkward moments between him and Tony La Russa. If you've been paying attention to the video, when La Russa has come to get him in a few of these games lately, it's like Bummer's not even looking at La Russa. He is so mad either at himself or at La Russa for coming to get him. It's been icy. And I was wondering, is there going to be a situation where Bummer gets yanked or we're going to have another one of those? But Bummer got the job done, and actually there was all smiles as he went back to the dugout. La Russa, first one there to give him a high five. 8th inning, Graveman. I didn't think we were going to see Graveman on back-to-back days. There's been a lot of articles and information out there as of late about workload management for Graveman, how he's been using data this year to track his availability and how he can stay fresh throughout the whole season and into the postseason. And he's been using this data and having conversations with the White Sox. And I thought, being used on Saturday, we're probably not going to see him, but it was a great sign that he came in on Sunday and he struck out the side. I mean, I think that is awesome. And if he can go back-to-back days here and there, especially with having Monday off, I think that was important to have him throw. And then Hendriks came in for the 9th. He was electric, 99, 100 miles per hour, and had an easy 1-2-3. He gets his 16th save. And really the weekend, the series was about heroes. We didn't expect much to, we weren't going to hear about Mendick, Burger, or Engel as your heroes in 2022, especially as we're talking about here, June 2022. No way. This should be Robert, Moncada, Abreu, Anderson. Those are the guys, Grandal, that are carrying us. Maybe Vaughn, and Vaughn was involved, but to have big series from Mendick, Burger, Engel getting involved when he can, which he should be playing far more. It's just it's a fun sign, and it's good to see those guys get their due. They're making the most out of their opportunities. Now we got to see them continually. Okay. Ride those hot hands. We got the day off on Monday. Hopefully the Sox, brain trust, talk about things. Okay, what did we learn from this weekend? How can we set these guys up for success moving forward? How do you go back to Garcia over Mendick at this point, and Sheets over Burger DHing? Play the best guys and put them at the top of the lineup. It shouldn't be this difficult. Stop with the matchups, the lefty-righty stuff. Got to build off of this series win. Put out some consistent lineups this week against LA. Why not? So the Philadelphia Phillies fired their manager, Joe Girardi, a few days ago. And I want to talk about some of the things that happened over the weekend, is particularly that moment. And will TLR or Hahn ever face the same fate this year? I'm going to tell you why that is never going to happen. More on that in a moment. Hey, BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's basketball championship matchup, the NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and, of course, all the latest fighting news from MMA and UFC to boxing. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, some news from the weekend. It really started on Friday afternoon. Joe Girardi was fired, and John Middleton, who's the acting owner over there for the Philadelphia Phillies, he does not care about spending money. He wants championships. I'm pretty sure he went on record a few years ago saying, like, look, I've got all the money I possibly need. I'm looking to win championships. And he's allowing Dave Dombrowski, the president of baseball operations, to do his job. They had no more patience for Joe Girardi, and he got the axe. That got a lot of people, especially on social media, talking about, wow, look at what the Phillies are doing. Can we make Tony La Russa next? Is he the next man to go? What about Menachino, our hitting coach? What about Rick Hahn? Why is he still around? And Bob Nightingale, who, I don't know what you think about Bob Nightingale. He's always got something interesting to say regarding the Sox. He wrote an article commenting on the Joe Girardi situation and mentioned how, Tony La Russa is safe this year, which if you've been following the White Sox at all, for the past 10, 15, 20 years, I mean, of course, Tony La Russa is safe. Tony La Russa is going nowhere this year, and maybe he's not going anywhere in the offseason or beyond. This was, of course, a Jerry Reinsdorf hire. He forced Tony La Russa on all of us, forced it on Rick Hahn, but Rick Hahn is just, he is a loyal soldier. He is a made man. Rick Hahn knows that his job is safe. Jerry Reinsdorf loves loyalty. That's why Kenny Williams is still in the job that he's in. Rick Hahn I think has this GM job until he doesn't want it. And if I'm Rick Hahn, I'm saying, well, why leave a cush job? I don't have to, I'm not being held accountable for anything. My job is safe. As long as I let things like the Tony La Russa hire happen and I don't question it, then I'm a made man. And I wonder if deep down, if Hahn's saying, you know what, yeah, I could try to be a GM somewhere else, but they might expect results. I might actually have to produce. I might actually put together, some World Series contenders. I might have to have better off seasons. And he might say, I don't think I can do that. I'd rather stay in this cush job. Just speculation. But folks, we saw what happened with Girardi. TLR is going nowhere. Rick Hahn is going absolutely nowhere. Nothing changes as long as Jerry is around. You just got to hope and pray that these White Sox players, they can mesh, they can bond, they can start getting, catching on fire here, and we can catch up to now Cleveland and Minnesota. There was a White Sox survey that was sent out. I don't know if you got this in your email inbox. They do this from time to time, really odd time to send out a White Sox fan survey. I looked into it. I filled it out. I don't really believe much is being done. I bet you some intern is looking at these surveys and just laughing, and they're just getting dumped into, a garbage. But I found one of the questions very interesting on this survey. The question was worded something like, how important is it to you that the White Sox are successful? I mean, the fact that they're writing that on the survey is troubling. I mean, I guess there's a certain section of fandom that probably not folks listening to White Sox podcasts religiously, that maybe there's a part of the fandom that, is very passive and, what, I'm going to be a fan no matter what. And maybe that's why that question's on there. But some of the questions were really bizarre, very interesting. A lot of hype over comparing the 2022 season to the 1983 team. They threw this up on the NBC Sports Chicago pregame the other day. Identical records after 20 games, 25 games, and 50 games between the 1983 Sox team and the 2022 Sox team. Of course, the 83 team went on to win 99 games, won the West by 20 games, and of course, lost to the Orioles in the postseason. So what's the fate of this 2022 team? Well, it's on a good streak right now. We've won 2 in a row, but I find that to be very interesting. A lot of people want to point to, well, the 1983 team wasn't doing so well, and then they caught fire. I think consistency is going to be important. A lot of consistency. We'll see what this team can do this week. It's a big week with LA coming to town. Nice to see Lance Lynn on track to make his third and maybe final AAA start on Wednesday. And Eloy continues to play some injury-free baseball. Hope to see those guys back with the team by the end of the month, at least. Hey, thanks for making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast absolutely everywhere you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Appreciate you making Locked On White Sox your first listen. Now, you know what to do here. Make your second a listen, Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, just call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues, past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up on the next episode, really excited to be joined by Daniel Victor, writer for White Sox Daily. We're going to be talking about what is going on in the minor leagues. Excited for that. Hey, thanks so much for making White Sox, Locked On White Sox. Thanks so much for making Locked On White Sox part of your daily routine. I'm Nick Morawski. Until next time, go Sox.